The Miller family lived a quiet life. Their days were filled with school runs and weekend park visits. Their dog Blue was a constant joyful presence. He was a rescue, a mix of breeds nobody could quite name. Blue loved chasing squirrels even though he never caught one. He adored the Miller children, Emily and Tom. He would greet them with happy wags and gentle licks. He was, by all accounts, a very good dog. One Tuesday afternoon, a letter arrived. It was official, bearing the town's crest. Mrs. Miller opened it with a sense of unease. The words inside were cold, bureaucratic. They spoke of a new local ordinance, a rule about certain types of dogs. The letter mentioned pit bull-type dogs. The Millers had never thought of Blue that way. He was just Blue. Their Blue. Confusion quickly turned to a chilling fear. What did this mean for their beloved companion? A few days later, an animal control officer visited. He looked at Blue. He noted his broad head and muscular build. The officer declared Blue to be a pit bull type. The Millers were stunned. They tried to explain. Blue was gentle. He played with the neighborhood children. But the officer's job was to enforce the new rule. The rule was based on appearance, not on behavior. The family faced an impossible choice. So what is this thing called breed-specific legislation, or BSL? It means laws that target dogs based on their breed. These laws single out certain types of dogs. They label them as inherently dangerous. The usual targets are breeds like pit bull terriers, Rottweilers, Doberman pinschers, and Mastiffs. Sometimes it is even dogs that simply resemble these breeds. The rules can vary widely. Some places ban owning these dogs altogether. Others require muzzles, special enclosures, or extra insurance. The stated purpose of BSL is almost always public safety. Lawmakers who pass these rules believe they will reduce dog bites. They think that by removing or restricting certain breeds, communities will be safer. BSL is not a rare thing. It exists in many places around the world. Hundreds of cities and towns in the United States have such laws. Entire countries have enacted nationwide breed bans. This means countless dogs and their families are affected. We must ask if targeting breeds is fair, effective, or even logical. One of the biggest problems with BSL is how we identify these dangerous breeds. Most of the time, it is done by looking at the dog. An animal control officer, a shelter worker, even a police officer might make the call. They look at the dog's head shape, its body size, its fur type. But is this reliable? Can we really tell a dog's genetic makeup just by looking at it? Scientific studies have shown that visual breed identification is often wrong. Even experienced dog professionals struggle. In one study, shelter staff visually identified dogs. Then DNA tests were done on the same dogs. The results were startling. The visual guesses were often incorrect, especially for mixed breed dogs. A dog labeled a pit bull might have no pit bull terrier DNA at all, or it might have a tiny percentage from a distant ancestor. BSL relies heavily on these visual guesses. A dog's fate can depend on this subjective judgment. This reliance on appearance is deeply unfair. Science and fairness demand a better way. Breed-specific legislation often leans on bite statistics for support. Proponents will point to numbers. They say these numbers show certain breeds bite more often, or that their bites are more severe. Therefore, they argue these breeds must be more dangerous. But statistics can be like a dog's bark, sometimes loud, but not always telling the whole story. One major issue is the same problem of breed misidentification. If a dog bites someone, it is often identified by the victim, or by an officer at the scene. As we know, these visual identifications are unreliable. So, a bite attributed to a pit bull might have been from a Labrador mix, or a boxer mix. If the breed label is wrong, then the statistic is wrong. Another problem is failing to consider the popularity of breeds. If a certain breed is very common in an area, it is logical that it might be involved in more incidents. This does not necessarily mean it is more aggressive per dog. BSL often ignores this crucial factor, the denominator. It focuses on raw numbers, not on rates of aggression. Section 5. Looking at the other end of the leash, owner influence and dog behavior. Every dog is an individual. A dog's breed might give us some clues about its general tendencies, but breed is only one small piece of the puzzle that makes up a dog. Their personality is shaped by so many things: their early experiences, their training, the environment they live in, and, crucially, the behavior of their humans. Responsible dog ownership makes a world of difference. This means providing proper training from a young age, socializing the dog with many different people, places, sounds, and other animals. It means ensuring the dog gets enough exercise and mental stimulation. A well-cared-for, well-trained dog of any breed is far more likely to be a good canine citizen. Conversely, negative experiences can profoundly shape a dog's behavior. A dog that is neglected, abused, or chained up constantly is more likely to develop behavioral problems. The real danger often lies not in the dog's DNA, but in the hands of an irresponsible or cruel owner. This is where our focus should be. Section 6. Wider consequences, the true cost of BSL on dogs and people. The impact of breed-specific legislation goes far beyond just the targeted dogs. It creates ripples of hardship and sorrow for many. For families like the Millers, the emotional cost is immense. Losing a beloved pet is like losing a family member. The grief, stress, and anxiety can be overwhelming. Children especially form deep bonds with their pets. Forcing them to give up their dog or to see their dog labeled as dangerous can be a traumatic experience. For the dogs themselves, BSL can be devastating. Thousands of well-behaved, friendly dogs are euthanized in shelters every year simply because of their perceived breed. They never get a chance to show who they are. Other dogs are constantly uprooted. They are moved from town to town, from shelter to shelter, as their owners try to escape BSL. This constant change is confusing and stressful for any dog. There are also significant economic costs. Families may face the expense of moving to a different town or city. Legal fees can mount if they try to fight the legislation. Shelters and animal control agencies are burdened. Taxpayer money is spent enforcing laws that are not proven to improve public safety. Section 7. Unmasking aggression, the real reasons behind a dog's bite. When a dog bites, it is a serious event. But to prevent bites, we need to understand why they happen. Aggression in dogs is not a simple desire to be bad or mean. It is a form of communication. It is often a last resort for a dog that feels threatened, scared, or overwhelmed. A growl, a snap, or a bite is a dog's way of saying, "I am uncomfortable," or "Please stop," or "I need more space." Understanding this is the first step towards preventing bites. There are many common triggers for aggression. These triggers are not specific to any one breed. Fear is a major cause. A dog that is cornered or feels threatened by a person or another animal may bite to defend itself. Pain is another significant factor. A dog that is injured or unwell may lash out if touched in a sore spot. Resource guarding, protecting food, toys, or even a favorite person can also lead to aggressive displays. Territoriality, the instinct to protect their home or space, is another common reason. Section 8. Safer Together, Practical Steps for Community Dog Safety. If BSL is not the answer, what is? How can communities truly become safer for both people and dogs? The good news is that there are effective, evidence-based solutions. These solutions focus on responsible pet ownership and on dog behavior, not on breed. One key element is comprehensive breed-neutral dog laws. This includes things like leash laws, which require dogs to be under control in public. Licensing and microchipping help ensure dogs can be returned if lost, and that owners can be identified. Strong anti-tethering laws prevent dogs from being chained up for long periods, which can lead to frustration and aggression. Education is another powerful tool. Many dog owners, especially new ones, may not fully understand dog behavior. They may not know the best ways to train or socialize their pets. Communities can offer resources. This could be low-cost training classes, workshops on dog body language, or informational brochures. When owners are better informed, they can make better choices for their dogs and their community. Section 9. Choosing Compassion and Facts, a Call for Fairer Dog Laws. The story of breed discrimination is a sad one. It is a story of fear-trumping facts. It is a story of good dogs paying the price for human prejudice and misunderstanding. Decades of breed-specific legislation in communities around the world have shown us one clear thing: it does not work. BSL has not made communities significantly safer. Major veterinary and animal welfare organizations like the American Veterinary Medical Association and the ASPCA oppose BSL. They cite the lack of scientific evidence supporting its effectiveness. They point to the harm it causes. We need a new approach. We need laws that are fair, effective, and based on evidence. This means shifting from breed-specific rules to breed-neutral ones. We must focus on the behavior of the individual dog and the behavior of the owner. Dangerous dog laws should apply to any dog that poses a proven threat, regardless of its appearance or presumed breed. Responsible pet ownership laws should apply to all dog owners. This is the path to truly safer communities. It is a path that acknowledges the complexity of dog behavior.